Right, let's get started with lesson 6. Previous lessons have gone over vertex form and how to graph from vertex form. So we're just going to take a minute to review that before we get started on today's lesson. Today's lesson, while we're here, is about standard form. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. We know that when given vertex form, that A is the vertical, represents the vertical stretch and compression. Also, so a stretch is between less than -1, when A is less than -1 or when A is greater than 1. And when A is between -1 and 1, it's a compression. We also know that if A is negative, there is a vertical reflection. Okay, and the values H and K are responsible for translations. So H is a horizontal translation, left or right. K is a vertical translation, up, down. Okay, so before I slide this page up, I just want to remind us that actually we have seen factored form already, and we already know how to graph. Okay, we also know how to graph, so we know how to graph form 2 and 3. Today we're going to talk about how to graph us from standard form, but first let's go over some transformations. So in this chart, I'm going to start you off with the first one, and then I'd like you to speed through the video and do the rest on your own and check. So what are the transformations on 2x squared? So here we know that our A value is 2, H is 0, K is 0, K is 0. Okay, so we know all we have is a vertical stretch. And anytime we say we have a stretch, we have to indicate by what factor. And the factor is just what the number is. So for example, when you get to this guy, it's going to be by a factor of 1/2. It's a vertical compression. We might as well write it down. This is a vertical compression. So in our course, we're going to say by a factor of 1/2. I know some textbooks would call this a factor of 2, but we're just going to take the actual A value. Okay, getting back to this guy, what is the vertex? Well, the vertex is 0, 0. Maybe we can jot down a little graph of this. So if I were to graph this, I know it's going to be like the parent function, but it's going to be skinnier. I don't know why that suddenly started happening again. Okay, so the range of this is 0 to infinity. The direction of opening is up, and the axis of symmetry is x equals 0. Guys, I'm going to stop the video, or I'm going to speed up the video here. I want you to try the rest on your own and just check that you get my answers. Okay, so just take a minute to see if you got that right, and we can move on to the next part. The next part of our video.